Hello. So I have done my ethics talk about the television, but I have to give my beautifully written cue cards in tomorrow at college, which I'm feeling a little bit precious about because, after all, it took me 7 hours to condense all the material down into my 10-minute talk. Um, Anyhow, I thought I might just try and do a better version of it than my first version I uploaded. And I thought if I manage to do a better version, then I can upload some pictures as well to support the evidence. So if I can keep my voice for long enough, because of course I switched the camera on and my voice wants to go. Anyway, I will try and give the talk. It really is. It's going. I'm going to crack on, and we'll do the television talk again. So yeah, maybe I'll upload. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, I went first, and the reason why I went first was because I was so nervous. It was just awful. I really can't emphasize how nervous I was about giving this talk. It really was nerve-wracking. But anyway, yeah, I went first, and it worked from the perspective that, I at least didn't have to sit for everyone else. Well, I did, but after I'd given my talk. So the title of my talk is My Phone's Ringing. That's not the title. It buzzed. The title of my talk is I'm going to talk today about how the television is used to indoctrinate, uncondition the masses, and why I think this is highly unethical. So I don't personally have a TV, and when I tell people this, normally I get met with, disbelief actually. People think I'm joking. They actually do think that I'm joking, because how can you not have a TV? I mean, seriously, who doesn't have a TV? Oh, you poor thing. Can you not afford one? Yeah, no, I don't have a TV. Through choice. And I think that after giving this talk, if anyone has stumbled across this who doesn't know these things, then you will, I hope, be rethinking having a TV yourself. So let's crack on with it. So, mass media is actually a tool created by the ruling classes to control and manipulate us, the masses. It shapes and molds opinions and defines what we see as normal and acceptable. After all, everything that we're given, we are fed through some version of media. Everything we're told to be real, it generally comes through the TV or newspapers, but television's the major source really these days. So I'm going to look at techniques used, along with some examples of the materials which are being pumped into our minds every time that we switch the television set on. I want everyone to get a glimpse of its true role in society, and ask everyone here the question as to how such a tool as a TV can be seen as ethical, based upon the ways that you will find it actually does work. Did everyone know that it's actually scientific fact that the TV is a tool of mass indoctrination, and it is the greatest one that was ever devised, the most successful tool ever created? It has changed the whole course of nations, for we as humans mimic what we see. And as we are watching the TV, we're being constantly indoctrinated and reconditioned, and that's being beamed straight into our subconscious and unconscious mindset. I think this is really dangerous. Can we trust the source that's beaming this into us? Can we trust that? I think it's so open to manipulation. It really is. As Alan Watts said, it becomes you, you become it. And TV plays us like a harp, quite literally. So the TV really was invented as a propaganda tool. When we watch the TV, it puts us into an alpha brainwave state. This means that we're more easily hypnotized because it's the right side of our brain that's in use. As we watch the TV, we have an internal release of the body's own opiates and endorphins. Now, these are actually chemically proven to be almost identical to opium. I mean, that is actually quite mind-blowing, isn't it? To think that just watching the TV triggers an internal state which is chemically proven to be the same as opium, for crying out loud. Opium, that's major. Because it makes the mind feel good, it makes you want more. So it is working to your brain's receptors the same way that drugs work. And because we're bypassing the left brain and going straight into the right side, as you watch the TV, you do fall into a trance-like state of mind. Now, I'm sure everyone has experienced, kids are a great one, actually, well, just people in general, but I've been at my friend's house, and it's got to that time where, like, Hollyoaks and that type of thing's on, and the kids are gone. In fact, everyone's gone. And it's like, hello, is there anybody here? Come back to the real world. It is really scary how fast that switch goes, and they're gone, lost to the TV. Oh, freaks me out, it really does. As viewers are already hypnotized, to deepen the trance is easily done, and they have various ways that they do this. But one simple way, which I can talk about now, is every 32 frames into a film, there'll be a blank black frame which we see. Our subconscious sees it. It keeps us in the trance. We don't see it because it's so fast. But this creates a 45 beat per minute pulsation rate, perceived only by the unconscious mindset. And as that's the real target, it's the ideal place to create the deep hypnosis which they really want us to be in. This makes us highly open to suggestion and conditioning, which is being beamed straight into the subconscious mind. Now, has anyone ever thought about why TV programs are called programs? It actually really is, because that is exactly what they are. They are programs, and they're programming your mind to whatever it is that they want us to think. The flicker rate's also relevant because this triggers and induces the alpha brainwave state, which lulls the brain into the hypnotized state, open suggestion without us even being aware. That's another scary factor, the fact that we're not even aware of what's going on. So the reason why the right brain keeps getting mentioned is because the left brain, which holds your analytical thought processes and your logical mindset, is bypassed by the television as you fall straight to the right side. And as it's being embedded into the subconscious and emotional states held in the right side, it's dangerous, basically. Obviously, all things are open to good and bad, and I suppose that there could be good reasons to bypass the left brain and go straight into the right. There could be good reasons to hypnotize the nation by, but personally, I think that if something needs to be being beamed into your subconscious, it can't be that positive, because if something was good, it wouldn't need to be hidden, surely. Why we would be transparent if it was good, you would think. Because if it was something good, they'd want everybody to know how good it is for the right reasons. Now, the semi-conscious state induced by the TV is proven to contribute to states of memory loss, speech and perception problems, and it can trigger early onset of Alzheimer's. I mean, seriously, that's pretty scary. To contrast, if you read, this increases your cognition, building your neuron pathways. And because you're thinking critically and enhancing the vision of the mind using your left side, this is good for you. It's improving your mind's power, not numbing it. Should we just get my cat in there? I've got all my college stuff just next to me. I think it's interesting how people are conditioned actually to not go home and pick up a book, but instead to go home and switch the TV set on. Now, because of the opiate effect, people who regularly watch high levels of TV and stop, they do tend to go through a withdrawal, symptoms of which will include anxiety, frustration and depression, to name but 3. And many people who have gone through this expressed feeling like they had lost a best friend. I that's really sad. Like, seriously, it's sad. So, on asking scientists if TV is addictive, they all answer with a resounding yes. Scientific fact. And I have more. People on average watch 4 hours a day of the TV. 49% of whom do so despite knowing how bad it is for them. Now the fact they continue to do so is actually the signs of addicts in denial. An addict will know they're doing harm to themselves, but continue regardless, perhaps unable to stop. And I would imagine it's the same with the TV. A lot of people are so ingrained in that way of life. Let's face it, a lot of families, this is what they do together. The television, it's what they do. And most people these days have got a television in every room of their house. Like when I was growing up, I used to watch probably a couple of hours on an evening with my mum, and we had this like tiny little TV in the living room. We didn't even have a colour TV until, I was quite old. We had a black and white TV for a long time. And then, we did get a colour TV. But it wasn't like, it wasn't the centrepiece, because actually I spent more time outside playing in the fields and stuff than being sat around a TV. But we did used to watch a couple of hours in the evening, I'm not going to lie. We did. Getting back to this. Modern science says that all opioids are addictive, even the body's naturally produced ones. And therefore, they say that in reality, a TV is a high-tech drug delivery system. Yeah, it's quite shocking, isn't it, when you put it like that? Now, interestingly, Freud believed opiate addiction was an attempt to return to the comfort of the womb, which again is like, wow. So they've like ingeniously invented a machine that puts people into an alpha brainwave state, which is actually triggering the chemicals which make them feel the comfort of being in their mother's wombs. Now, in a world like which is run how it is, I can see how that appeals to people. There's so much pain in this world. People want to be switched off to that because they can't deal with it. And it's not unusual these days for people to be being controlled anyway by various different drugs which the doctors prescribe. Oh, you're feeling a bit depressed? Here, take a pill. You know, everything's meant to be like curable so that you're just in a like easily controllable, like a narrow state of mind. You're not thinking outside of the box. You are literally trapped in the box created by the television set. Oh. So, TV truly is a double-edged sword. It not only produces and releases endorphins with the opiate effect, but it also concentrates on neurological activities into lower brainwave regions where we are motivated solely by pursuit of pleasure. Scientists say TV produces highly functional, mobile biosurvival robots. That's us they're talking about. We are the robots that they're talking about there. I mean, it's all very scary stuff. So I've printed off some examples of some subliminal images which are being caught in screenshots. And what I'm going to do for the purposes of this is I will upload them at the end and you can take a look. They are truly shocking, especially because a lot of these are found in kids' cartoons. And then you've got some of your slightly more overt stuff, like what the pop stars are doing with their like occult imagery and like idol worship and whatnot. Of course, you have to bear in mind it's easy to see these things when they're on a screenshot, but when you're watching a program or cartoon or whatever it is that's being watched, they're often flashed so quickly that you don't even really realise that you've even seen it. Like I say, some are more blatant than others, but like your sexualised stuff in your Walt Disney cartoons, obviously that isn't there to be picked up by your conscious mindset, because if it was, parents would be like outraged, wouldn't they? I don't know. From sexualizing kids to occult symbols in pop to pre-programming of events, it's all there to see. To quote Steve Watson, what I describe here is only a snapshot. We are bombarded from all angles with distractions, substances and conditions created to transform the way we interpret our reality. We are being conditioned from birth to act increasingly without consciousness. Consciousness being the one thing that sets us apart from every other living thing in the known universe. We are literally being programmed into a waking sleep, a zombie-like state of existence. We must act vigilantly and educate others if we are to break this programming and preserve our humanity. So to conclude, I have to ask why the occult, satanic, over-sexualization and precog events being beamed into our subconscious minds and those of our children. Due to time constraints for this talk, I really have literally scratched the surface of what is a huge, huge topic. And actually, it's all there for everyone to see. All you need to do is Google the television. You could put something in like television subliminal imaging, television alpha brainwave states. It's all there. These days, there's no excuses for people to not be able to do their own research. It's all there at a touch of a button. Mass indoctrination of the masses is no joking matter, but deadly serious. And I think all of this is highly unethical. People, please, I implore you all to do your own research in this topic. So often televisions are used as babysitters for kids' young impressionable minds. Please be aware, and thank you for listening. If anyone's got any questions, please do write them in below, and I will of course answer in any way that I can. And so I wish everybody well, and don't forget to not plonk your kids in front of the TV, or yourselves either. And please, 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 please be safe, be aware, and be educated, because at least if you know, you can do something about it. It's not hard to not watch TV, or to be very selective in what you watch at least. Alright then, so Merlin wanted to come and join us, so little shout out for my cat. Isn't she perfect? And I'll get those images loaded up. So thanks for watching, take care, bye bye. Good girl, Merlin. You're a good girl. She's a good girl, isn't she? Bye bye.